Hi, I'm Hannah from Penn Farm Podiatry. I'm going to talk to you today about some of the creams I commonly use and recommend in clinic. If you have, or most people really, should put cream on their feet every day. If you have diabetes, you need to put cream on your feet every day. Evidence shows that reduces the risk of foot problems. So every single day, some people do need to use it twice a day. But once a day, and I've just got some choices here to give some ideas of what to look for. These are some of the things I usually say to my patients in clinic. Firstly, if you don't have particularly dry skin and using something like Nivea keeps your feet well moisturised, that's fine. Just use that. I'm a big fan of not having too many tubs of different things in the cupboard. Similarly, if you've been given a foot cream as a present, like a Clinique or Neal's Yard or something foot cream, might not be particularly strong, might smell nice and minty, but if that's strong enough for you, then you can keep using that. That's fine. The next strength up I use a lot is the Gaywall, which has, I'm not sure of the exact amount, I think it's about 5% urea. So if you need a stronger foot cream, urea is the magic ingredient you're after. It's a nitrogen-based chemical. That's how come it's got the ura sound to it. So these ones will look familiar to my patients because I use them a lot in clinic. I use the green one in summer because it feels a bit more refreshing, and I use the red one in winter. These are just quite a nice one that feel like a nice product to use, that are a little bit stronger than just using the urea or something. So the ones I use are the red, which is nice in winter. It goes on quite nicely, rubs in really nicely, just feels like a bit of a more of a treat product to use. So that's a nice one to use. It also comes in a spray-on version. This one's not particularly strong, but in summer when your feet feel a bit sweaty and you don't want a cream on your feet, that's better than nothing and it feels quite nice to use. So that's worth using as well. While I'm talking about this product, it's worth mentioning that some people are allergic to ingredients in these products. For example, this one I find doesn't work very well with my skin. I get a bit itchy with the lavender. So if you find any of these you have a reaction to, or you get a bit of a rash or a bit itchy, then obviously stop using them because they do use different ingredients that some people are allergic to. So they're the Gaywall creams that are a really nice product to use. They feel nice on the skin, but they're not as strong as some of the other ones. One I use a lot in the clinic is CCS Foot Care Cream. Most people have seen this one before. Loads of podiatrists recommend this one. It's stronger than the Gaywall. I think it's 10% urea. It goes on quite nicely. It doesn't feel too medical, but it goes on your skin quite easily, rubs in really nicely, and that works really well. For people that like the CCS, but it's not strong enough, it's worth then bumping up to the CCS Cracked Heel Repair, which is 25% urea. So this one's 10 and this one's 25. So this one's a lot stronger, but feels very similar if you like the lighter product. Price-wise, these are the same price. So if using this one every day works, then that's your better option, really. Flexitol's a brand a lot of people are familiar with. The Flexitol Heel Balm, that's 25% urea as well. It's got lanolin in it, so a lot of people find it just feels a little bit more lanolin-y, a little bit more greasy, and when you rub it in, it just feels a little bit, it takes a little while to soak in. But it's a really good one that people have loved for years. So that's quite a good one to use, and that's quite easy to get hold of as well. The Flexitol do another one, which I don't have here. There's Flexitol Platinum, which is a 40% urea. So people with very dry skin sometimes go on that to really beef things up a bit. Flexitol have got a couple of different things. They have a moisturising foot cream, which is a weaker version of the heel balm. I don't tend to use that very much because if people don't need the strong heel balm, I tend to put them onto the CCS. But if you like the thicker, more nourishing feel of the Flexitol heel balm, then you might like to use that if you don't need the strength of that one. So this one's 25%. I think this one's about 10%, so it's not quite so strong. But you only need to use the weakest that you need to use. There's no point using the stronger one for the sake of it if the weaker one works for you. Flexitol do this really nice one, a skin balm. that, as well as the urea in it, also has a silicone. And I use this with, it goes on really nicely. In fact, I remember when the rep gave this to me, he said, don't use this on your patients, take it home and use it on yourself, because it's a really nice one to use. It goes on really nicely. It doesn't have that thick Flexitol feel. It goes on really nicely, and because it's got the silicone in it, it just gives a slightly silky feel to the skin. So that's a really nice one to use. But my patients that have got frail skin on their lower legs, that's the one I recommend for them. I think it's really good for that. I also have it at home sometimes because it makes my skin feel nice. So it's a nice everyday one. So that's that one. Flexitol, I've got this one as well, which I've usually got in stock. This is good for summer, for when you don't want to put moisturiser on your feet because it feels a bit dry, but you know I'll nag you if you don't. Give it a bit of a shake. And it's a foam, which is quite funky. And then that goes in really easily. I'm gonna have such well moisturised hands today. That goes in really easily and then dries with a slightly powdery feel to it. So it's a lot lighter. Again, not as strong as the other ones, but for something to put on your heels that soaks in quickly, then that one's a good option. So they're all of my foot creams. The other two things I've got that are a little bit separate are, firstly, this Gaywall nail oil I've started using in clinic. And this is really good. I just put a drop of it on either side of the big toe. It makes the nails go nice and shiny. So I sometimes use it in clinic. It's just a nice thing to use. But I've been recommending it more and more for people who have dry skin around the sides of their big toenails. So if you've got the big toenails that press in the corners and you get the corns and the calluses down the side of your toenails, that can be really good to soften that up. So I've started having a play with that for the last 6 months, but I'm liking that one quite a lot now for those toenails that get trouble down the side. They can be really good for that. The last one I've got to recommend is nothing to do with feet at all. Hand balm. I love this stuff. It is the only stuff that works on my hands. I wash my hands all day long. They get so dry, and this is the only thing I find that works. So it's got the urea in it, which puts extra strength in it. The Gaywall do a hand one as well, but I find this one's by far the best. I sell this in clinic more now because it's trickier to get hold of. So I've usually got stock of that in, depending on how much I've taken home to use myself. But especially at the moment when everyone is washing their hands a lot, then that is, I find, the best one for that. So they are nearly all the creams I've got in clinic. I do actually have some other ones. They're the ones that I tend to recommend the most. If you've got any questions about that, feel free to get in touch. If you're one of my patients, some of this advice will sound similar. You might go, oh yeah, I remember Hannah talking about that one. The important thing is, though, put cream on your feet every day. Some people do need to do it twice a day. Stop using it if you get an allergic reaction to it. And have a bit of a play. And hopefully that gives you some ideas of some different creams to try. Thank you.